There's a word for people who feel everything too deeply, empathetic. We say it like a compliment, and it often is. Empathy is the glue of human connection, the instinct that makes us stop for a stranger who looks sad or cry at a movie we've seen 3 times. It's beautiful. But there is another side of empathy that isn't talked about. It doesn't look beautiful at all. It looks like anxiety. It looks like lying awake at 2 a.m., carrying every else's problems while quietly neglecting your own. The weight of other people's worlds. Most imagine empathy as warmth, a friend who listens without judgment, a partner who just gets you, and yes, it can be that. But for some, empathy is more than a social skill. It's the inability to sit across from someone in pain without absorbing it into your own chest. Psychologists call it empathic distress. When you stop simply understanding someone's pain and start living it yourself. You walk into a room and feel the tension before everyone speaks. You sense a colleague's bad mood before they've said a word. A friend vents about her relationship, and hours later, you're still thinking about it. More than she probably is. The most empathetic people are often the ones suffering the most quietly because they've made everyone else's pain their responsibility. Here's the trap nobody warns you about. Highly empathetic people are great at reading others, but terrible at saying no. When you can feel someone's disappointment at the moment, it flickers across their face. It becomes almost physically painful to cause it. So you say yes. Again, you absorb. You accommodate. You reshape yourself to fit what others need until you lose track of what you need. Psychologists call this self-erasure through empathy. The slow dissolving of your own boundaries in service of others' comfort. It doesn't happen in one dramatic moment. It happens in small compromises. Not saying how you really feel, not setting limits, putting yourself last because putting yourself first feels like betrayal. The irony is the people who do this are usually the most generous, reliable, and caring. They're the ones holding everything together until they can't anymore. There's a clinical term for what happens when you give too much emotional energy for too long, compassion fatigue. First studied in nurses, therapists, and social workers, it's now recognized in anyone who becomes the emotional anchor of their circle. Compassion fatigue doesn't look like indifference. At first, it looks like someone who cares so much they've burned through every reserve. The symptoms creep in: chronic tiredness that sleep doesn't fix, dread before social interactions, irritability, helplessness. You start to resent the very people you love for needing you, then feel guilty for resenting them, then exhausted by the guilt. And it's a loop that feeds itself. It doesn't mean you've stopped caring. It means you cared so much for so long that you run out of yourself. The biology of feeling too much. This isn't just emotional, it's biological. When you witness pain, your brain activates the same circuits as if you were experiencing it yourself. Mirror neurons, the limbic system, the stress response all light up. For highly empathetic people, this reaction is amplified. Their nervous systems run on high alert, processing everyone's emotions in real time. Over time, this creates chronic stress. Cortisol rises, sleep falters. The immune system weakens. The body wasn't built to carry endless emotional weight, and eventually it protests with anxiety, exhaustion, depression. What do you do about it? The answer isn't to become less empathetic. Empathy in its healthy form is one of the most valuable human traits. The answer is learning the difference between empathy and emotional merger. True empathy lets you care without losing yourself. Emotional merger drags you fully into someone else's pain and leaves you stranded there. Researchers like Dr. Christian Neff, who studied self-compassion, show that resilient empaths are those who extend the same kindness to themselves that they give to others. Boundaries aren't walls, they're what make connection sustainable. You can't keep giving from an empty tank. You can't keep absorbing the world's pain without somewhere to set it down. The most caring thing you can do for yourself and for those who depend on you is to learn how to care without disappearing. The quiet revolution. There's something quietly radical about an empathetic person deciding to protect their own energy. It feels at first like selfishness, but it isn't. It's sustainability. It's the difference between burning bright for a year and glowing steadily for a lifetime. If you recognize yourself here, if you're the one leans on, the one who feels everything, the one who hasn't asked for help in longer than you can remember, this is your reminder. You are allowed to put the weight down. Caring for others doesn't have to cost yourself. In fact, it shouldn't.